Have you ever wondered why she starts crumbling the moment you walk away? You think she's fine, that she's moved on, untouched by your absence. Most men do. They see her silence, her cool facade, and assume she doesn't care. But here's the twist. It's eating her alive. That quiet you left behind? It's not just space, it's a mirror, forcing her to face what she's lost. She might hide it, play it off like you're a ghost she's forgotten, but deep down, the cracks are forming. Welcome back to Stoic Spirit, where ancient wisdom turns pain into power. Today, I'm breaking down 10 undeniable signs she regrets letting you go, and how to handle it like a stoic, not a fool. Hit that subscribe button now, because by the end, you'll see why her regret doesn't define you. You do. Stick around. The last sign will flip everything you thought you knew about her feelings. Let's dive in. Here's the brutal truth. Most guys miss these signs because they're too busy chasing her shadow. They think she's over it, that her cold shoulder means she's won. I've been there. Years back, I'd stare at my phone, waiting for a girl who'd vanished to show me I mattered. I was wrong. She wasn't fine. She was just better at hiding it. Then Stoicism changed the game. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Her regret? That's her storm to weather. Your strength? That's yours to wield. These 10 signs aren't about winning her back. They're about spotting her cracks, while you stand unshaken. Ready to see the truth? Let's roll. Sign 1. She starts reaching out, but it's cloaked in excuses, draped in a flimsy disguise you'd laugh at if it weren't so predictable. She swore she'd never text you again, told herself she's done, that silence was her shield, her fortress against you. She'd sit there, smug, convincing herself she's got the upper hand, that cutting you off was her big win. But now, that castle's crumbling, brick by brick, and she's the one scrambling in the rubble, her resolves melting faster than ice in a summer blaze. Her thumb hesitates over your name, trembling like she's about to pull a trigger, her mind locked in a cage match with her pride. I shouldn't, but what if he's gone for good? Then it lands. A message, casual as a breeze, almost too innocent to take seriously. Hey, saw this meme and thought of you. Or maybe it's a random curveball. How's your dog doing these days? Don't be fooled for a second. It's not about the dog, the meme, or some dusty corner of her memory. It's her testing the waters, tossing out a line, fishing for a flicker of proof you're still there, still tethered to her orbit. I've seen it play out, raw and real. A girl I dated ghosted me cold. Weeks of nothing, not a whisper, like I'd evaporated from her world. I let it go, moved on, buried the sting under my own grind. Then one night, out of the blue, my phone buzzes. Hey, found your old hoodie in my closet. Want it back? I didn't bite, didn't even blink. That hoodie was a fossil. She wasn't digging for cotton threads. She was clawing for me, for a sign I'd jump at her call. A buddy of mine got it worse. His ex vanished for a month, then hit him with, "Hey, just saw your favorite movie on TV. Still love it?" He laughed it off, kept his distance. She wasn't reminiscing about popcorn flicks. She was probing, poking, desperate to see if he'd crack. Epictetus said it straight. There's only one way to happiness, to cease worrying about things beyond your power. Her move? That's her burden, her storm to wrestle. Your move? Stay steady, unshakable as stone. Don't jump at her bait. Keep it short, cool as ice, or don't reply at all. Let her stew in that silence. Let her feel the weight of your absence when you don't flinch. Sign 2. Her social media lights up like a theater, a dazzling stage set ablaze the moment you go quiet. You pull back, vanish from her radar, and suddenly she's everywhere. Selfies sharper than a blade, each one polished to perfection. Captions dripping with meaning like ink bleeding through a page. Living my best life, she declares, or maybe it's a heartbreak lyric that cuts too close to home. A line from that song you both loved, now dangling there like a taunt. It's no accident, no random burst of inspiration. She's not glowing with some newfound joy. She's performing, strutting across a digital runway. Hoping, no, praying. You're out there in the dark, eyes glued to the spotlight she's waving in your face. Then, out of nowhere, a throwback pic pops up. One from your days together, her smile locked with yours, subtle enough to dodge prying questions but loud enough to scream your name across the void. A neon sign flashing, "Remember me?" A guy I know pulled back from a girl who'd brushed him off like dust on her shoulder. Next week, her feed's a full-blown runway, smiling wide with friends, cryptic posts piling up like lessons learned or time heals all. She wasn't over him, she was staging a desperate show, a one-woman act to drag his gaze back. I've been there too. An ex went radio silent on me, so I stopped chasing. 3 days later, her stories explode. Beach shots, glowing tan, new chapters, old scars. She wasn't writing a novel, she was scribbling my name in the margins, betting I'd scroll and stew. Seneca nailed it cold. We suffer more in imagination than reality. She's imagining you hunched over your phone, heart twisting, jealousy flaring. Don't give her that win. Don't hand her the applause she's fishing for. Stay off her grid. Keep your cool. Let her spotlight flicker and dim when you don't clap. She's not posting for the world. She's posting for you, and every like you don't give digs the knife deeper. Here's the play. She's not just sharing, she's shouting, screaming through pixels to pierce your armor. But a Stoic doesn't flinch at shadows on a screen. You're not her audience. You're the wall she can't climb. Noticed her posts spike like fireworks after you went silent? Selfies, quotes, anything to catch your eye? Tell me below. I want to hear how she turned her feed into a stage for you. Sign 3. She's digging for intel via mutual friends, turning your circle into her spy ring. She won't ask you directly. Oh no, that's too raw, too real. Her pride's a fortress she guards with steel. Instead, she'll sniff around the edges, slinking through conversations like a shadow on the hunt. Hey, how's he holding up these days? She'll slip into a chat, casual as a breeze, voice light as if it's just idle talk over coffee. But don't be fooled for a heartbeat. That's not what she's after. What she's really asking, clawing through the small talk for, is the good stuff. Is he missing me? Is he falling apart without me? Does he still carry my name in his chest? She's not just curious, she's a bloodhound, hunting for cracks in your armor, sniffing for any whiff of weakness, hoping, praying. You're still hooked, still tangled in the web she thinks she's spun. I had an ex pull this move, weeks after she bailed, leaving me in the dust. A friend dropped it casual-like. She asked if you're dating anyone. My gut twisted for a second, but I saw it clear. She didn't want me back, didn't want to mend what she broke. She wanted proof I wasn't fine without her, that her absence had carved a hole I couldn't fill. A buddy of mine got it worse. His ex cornered a mutual friend at a party, all nonchalant. So, how's he been lately? Still the same old him? She wasn't after updates. She was fishing for wreckage, craving a report that he was drowning in her wake. Marcus Aurelius said it cold and true. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Let her wrestle with her own tangled mess. Don't feed her game. Stay steady as stone. Keep your cards close. Let her hear through the grapevine that you're thriving, not just surviving. That truth? It stings her deeper than any text you could fire off. Cuts her pride right where it lives. Here's the play. She's not asking because she cares. She's asking because she's rattled. Your silence is a mirror she can't dodge, reflecting back a loss she didn't expect to feel. Every "he's doing great" she hears is a jab to her ego, a crack in her wall. Has she ever probed about you through someone else? Maybe a sly "how's he doing" that wasn't so sly? Share it below. I want to hear how she tried to peek through your shield. Sign 4. She's suddenly everywhere you go, popping up like a ghost who's memorized your map. That coffee shop you love, where the barista knows your order by heart? She's there, perched at a table, sipping a latte like it's her new haunt, steam curling up as she pretends to read the room. The gym you hit, where you've been grinding out your demons? She's signing up, all casual in fresh workout gear, tossing her hair like she's always been a regular. It's not fate spinning some cosmic thread. It's a play, a calculated dance. She knows your spots, your rhythm, every beat of your daily drum, and she's planting herself square in your path, dressed sharp as a blade, acting unbothered like she's just stumbled into your orbit. "Oh, didn't expect to see you here," she'll say with a smile that's too polished, too rehearsed, but her eyes, they're a dead giveaway, darting, searching, waiting for your reaction, hungry for a crack in your armor. A buddy of mine saw this unfold like a slow-motion trap. After he stopped chasing, his ex randomly hit the bar he'd always frequented. the one with the scratched-up pool table and cheap whiskey he loved. She was there, laughing loud enough to turn heads, glancing his way like a spotlight she couldn't switch off. She wasn't there for the beer or the jukebox. She was there for him, betting he'd blink first. I've been caught too. An old flame coincidentally strolled into my running trail one morning, all decked out. "Oh, I forgot you run here." I nodded, kept my pace. She didn't forget. She tracked me down. Epictetus taught us cold and clear. Freedom is disregarding what's beyond your control. Her moves, not your burden, not your circus. Nod, keep walking. Let her strut in the dust. Don't let her pull you back into her script. She's not wandering, she's hunting. And you're the prize she's desperate to reclaim. Here's the real sting. She's not showing up for coffee or curls. She's showing up for you, staking out your turf like a shadow that won't fade. Every step she takes into your world is a plea dressed up as chance, a gamble that you'll break your stride. You don't owe her that stumble. Ever had her accidentally cross your path, coffee in hand, gym bag slung, eyes locked on you? Let me know below. I want to hear how she tried to step back into your spotlight. Sign 5. She's tossing out regret like breadcrumbs scattered on a cold trail, too stubborn to just come out and say, "I miss you," too tangled in her own pride to bare her soul. Instead, she'll cloak it in shadows, posts popping up like, "Some lessons hurt too much," cryptic little daggers aimed straight at your chest, or a text slipping through the cracks. "Hey, remember that time we stayed up all night laughing?" It's not nostalgia pulling her strings, it's guilt, creeping in slow and heavy, a thief she can't outrun. Maybe she'll even dare to hint at an apology, her voice dipping low. "I could have done things better back then." Don't let that soft tone fool you. She's not spilling her heart, she's testing the waters, dangling a frail line to see if you'll bite, if you'll crack open the door she slammed shut, giving her a way back in without her having to beg. I got this once, raw and real. A girl who ditched me like I was yesterday's news texted out of the blue. Missed those late night talks we used to have. My phone lit up, and for a split second, I felt the pull. That old ache tugging at me. But I didn't dive in, refused to let her reel me back. A buddy saw it too. His ex, months after ghosting, posted online, lost something good and didn't see it, then hit him with, "That trip we took was wild, huh?" He smirked, stayed silent. Seneca said it like a hammer on steel. We suffer more in imagination than reality. Let her imagination stew, let it churn and twist. Keep your reply short as a blade, cool as stone, or don't even give her the echo of a response. She'll feel the loss clawing at her when you don't chase those pitiful crumbs she's dropping. Here's the truth. Those hints aren't accidents, they're flares, shot up in the dark of her regret, hoping you'll light the way back. She's not reminiscing for fun, she's wrestling with the ghost of what she threw away, praying you'll pick up the pieces she scattered. You don't owe her that lifeline. A Stoic lets her sit in that silence, lets her breadcrumbs rot in the wind. Seen her hint at regret, some post, some text, some whispered, "What if?" Drop it in the comments. I want to hear how she tried to sneak back into your orbit with those scraps. Sign 6. Her emotions start slipping, unraveling like a thread pulled too tight, cool as ice one minute, snappy as a whip the next. She played it tough at first, all smiles and I'm fine, strutting around like your silence was just a breeze she could shrug off. She'd flash that grin, toss her hair, convince the world, and herself, she's bulletproof, that losing you was a scratch she'd already healed. But your silence? It's not a breeze. It's a slow, gnawing wind, wearing down her walls, clawing at her calm until it crumbles. Mutual friends start whispering she's off, irritated over spilled coffee, defensive when your name floats up, lashing out at shadows like they've got your face. If you cross paths, she's a storm dressed up as ice, cold as a blade, maybe throwing a jab sharp enough to sting. "Guess you're too good for me now," her voice dripping with venom she can't quite hide. I've watched this unfold like a front row seat to a meltdown. A friend's ex went from chill to prickly after he pulled back, stopped chasing her crumbs. She'd snap at trivia nights over nothing, glare across the bar if he laughed too loud with the guys, her eyes burning holes through the air. She wasn't mad at the game. She was mad at him, at the empty space he'd left her flailing in. I've felt it too. An old flame bumped into me post-breakup, all poised at first, then snapped. You think you're above me now? Over nothing. Why? She's losing grip, her control slipping through her fingers like sand. Marcus Aurelius said it like a hammer on stone. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Her storm's not your burden, not your circus to tame. She's the one drowning in it. Stay steady as granite. Let her whirlwinds spin out. She'll crash harder when you don't sway. Here's the raw deal. She's not just moody, she's unraveling, her mask cracking under the weight of what she threw away. Every snap, every jab, it's not about you, it's about her, wrestling with a loss she didn't see coming. She thought she'd glide through your silence, but now it's a rope tightening around her pride. Noticed her get emotional after you went quiet? Tears, snaps, or glares she can't bury? Share it below. I want to hear how her storm broke when you stood still. Sign 7. She's lingering where you used to be, haunting your old hangouts like a ghost tethered to a past she can't shake. That diner you loved with its chipped mugs and flickering neon sign? She's there, solo, perched in your booth, staring out the window like she's waiting for your shadow to slide in across from her. The park you walked, where the leaves still crunch underfoot like they did when you laughed together? She's strolling through, slow and deliberate, her steps dragging as if the ground might whisper your name back to her. It's no coincidence, no random detour down memory lane. She's not just passing through. She's chasing echoes of you, pacing the edges of what's gone, hoping to catch a whiff of the life she let slip away. A guy I know stopped hitting a club after a breakup, the one with the pulsing lights and sticky floors where they danced until dawn. She started showing up, all dolled up in that dress he loved, alone at the bar, sipping something strong. She wasn't dancing, wasn't laughing with the crowd. She was waiting, eyes darting to the door like he might stride in any second. I've seen it too. An ex of mine began haunting the bookstore I'd drag her to, thumbing through paperbacks she'd never cared for, lingering by the shelves we'd browsed. She wasn't buying books, she was buying time, hoping I'd turn the aisle and see her there. Epictetus cut it clean. Cease worrying about things beyond your power. Her ghosts aren't your fight, aren't your chains to drag. You've got no stake in her seance. Keep moving forward. Let her pace those hollow halls alone. She'll feel the void you've left behind, a silence louder than any song she's chasing. Here's the raw edge. She's not there for coffee or a stroll. She's there for you, stalking the ruins of what was, clinging to a threadbare hope you'll step back into her frame. Every creak of that diner door, every rustle in that park, she's holding her breath for you. But you're not her prisoner anymore. You're a stoic, striding past her echoes, unshaken by her hauntings. Ever seen her at your spot, sipping, staring, waiting like a specter in your past? Tell me below. I want to hear how she tried to resurrect what's dead. Sign 8. Her mask slips, peeling back to show the cracks. She's hinting life's dimmer now. A shadow where light used to be. That polished front she's been flashing? It's fading fast and the posts turn heavy, weighted with a gloom she can't shake. Lost something real, she scribbles online, or a pic of your old spot pops up, coffee shop window, park bench, no caption, just a silent scream cutting through the scroll. She's not thriving, not basking in some newfound glow. She's dangling bait on a rusty hook, tossing it out into the void, hoping you'll bite, praying you'll swim back to shore and pull her from the dark. It's not a casual update. It's a flare gun fired from a sinking ship, a desperate signal she won't admit she's sending. An ex of mine played this card. After I went silent, cut the cord, her feed shifted. Regrets hit hard, she posted one night, a black and white shot of the pier we'd walked, waves crashing like her words couldn't. I didn't bite, didn't blink. I let it sit. A friend saw it too. His ex, weeks after he stopped calling, dropped memo. Some things you don't see till they're gone, paired with a blurry snap of their old hiking trail, fog rolling in like the haze she was lost in. She wasn't hiking, she was hurting. Seneca said it like a blade through the fog. A man is as unhappy as he convinces himself he is. Let her sit with that weight, let it press down on her chest. Don't rush in with a lifeboat to rescue her from her own storm. Her light fades when you don't flicker back, when you don't dance to her dimming tune. Here's the real cut. She's not just posting, She's pleading, weaving a web of hints because your absence carved a hole she didn't expect. Every what if she types, every memory she drags up, it's her wrestling with the truth. She's not shining without you. She's stumbling. A Stoic doesn't chase her echoes. He stands firm, lets her flail in the dusk she built. Caught her hinting she's lost without you. Some heavy post, some silent pic that screams your name? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear how she's dangling that bait your way. Sign 9. She's dangling other guys in front of you like bait on a sharpened hook, itching to rattle your cage and shake you loose. A pic with some dude flashes across her feed, arms too close, smiles too wide, or a flirty story lands, all giggles and glances, timed just right to catch you scrolling. She's banking on it, counting the seconds until you see it, jaw tightening like a vice, blood boiling hot enough to fog your screen. It's no accident, no random night out she forgot to keep private. She's not over you, she's testing you, tossing a live grenade your way to see if you'll duck or detonate. This isn't her moving on, it's her digging in, a sly little gambit to spark that old fire in your gut and drag you back into her orbit. A friend got this full blast. His ex posted a cozy date night shot a week after he went silent. Some guy's arms slung over her shoulder, captioned new vibes. He saw it, smirked, shrugged it off like it was nothing but smoke. I've been there too. An ex of mine, after I cut contact, started stories with a random dude, laughing too loud at his lame jokes, eyes flicking to the camera like she knew I'd catch it. I didn't flinch, didn't even blink. Marcus Aurelius said it like a chisel through stone. The quality of your thoughts decides your life. Don't let her cheap stunt twist your mind. Her game flops hard when you don't step into the ring. She's not flirting for him, she's fishing for you, desperate to see if she still holds the reins. Here's the real sting. She's not building a new life, she's staging a trap, betting your pride'll crack and you'll storm back, fists clenched. Every cozy pic, every coy glance, it's a dare. Feel me slipping away. But a Stoic doesn't play puppet to her strings. Stay steady, let her antics fizzle out, she'll choke on that silence when you don't bite. Seen her try the jealousy card, some dude, some shot, some play to make you burn? Share it below. I want to hear how she dangled that bait and watched it sink. Sign 10. She cracks wide open, texts you straight up, her armor shattered, her games burned to ash. After the posts, the hints, the sly little plays, she's done, her arsenal emptied. Hey, how you holding up? She types, fingers trembling over the keys, or maybe a soft, missed talking lately, slipping out like a confession she can't choke back. It's not a casual ping, it's her white flag flapping in the wind, her pride shredded into tatters, fluttering down from the pedestal she'd perched on for so long. She's not just curious anymore, she's restless, pacing the edge of a cliff, scared you've slipped over the horizon for good, her grip on you fraying with every silent day you stack up. This isn't her playing anymore, it's her breaking. The dam she built bursting under the weight of her own regret. I got hit with this once. Months after a split that left me cold, my phone buzzed. Hey, you okay? Her tone was shaky, like she'd been pacing her room rehearsing it. I kept it curt, fine, and let it hang. No warmth, no lifeline. A friend saw the same. His ex held out for weeks, all ice and bravado, then cracked with a late night, hey, just checking in. He didn't flinch and tossed back, good here, and left it at that. She wasn't checking, she was clawing, digging for a sign he hadn't let her go. Seneca sliced it clean. Stop convincing yourself you need anything outside your control. Her reach? That's her storm, her mess to drown in. Stay cool as steel, let your silence sting deeper than any words could cut. She's not texting to chat, she's texting to cling, terrified you've built a fortress she can't breach. Here's the raw truth. This is her breaking point. The moment her walls cave in, her pride's last stand crumbling under the weight of what she lost. Every hey, every missed you, it's a plea wrapped in a whisper, a desperate grab to pull you back from the edge she pushed you off. A Stoic doesn't leap at her rope, he stands steady, lets her flail in the wreckage she made. When did she break and reach out? Some shaky text, some midnight hey that screamed her regret? Tell me below. I want to hear how she waved that white flag your way. When she regrets losing you, it's not your win, it's hers to lose. These 10 signs, subtle texts, social media plays, showing up, They're her cracks, not your chains. You're not here to chase her shadow. You're forging a fortress she can't touch. She might text, might linger, but here's the Stoic truth. You don't need her regret to stand tall. Picture this. She's knocking, but you're too busy building your empire to answer. That's magnetic confidence. That's Stoic power. If this lit a fire, drop "I'm unshaken" in the comments. Show me your strength. Subscribe to Stoic Spirit for more secrets to master life and love. Tons of value awaits in our next videos. Share this with a guy still chasing. He needs it. What sign hit you hardest? Tell me. I read every word. Thanks for standing with me. Your growth drives this. Stay stoic. Stay strong. See you next time.